today's topics. Let's get into the Major League Baseball trade deadline, some winners, some losers, some snoozers, the standings, maybe talk about some World Series odds, a feel-good story that happened a couple days ago, and let's get into some NFL news and notes, some big contracts. We'll do a buyer beware segment for fantasy football, which we've talked a little bit about, but we will continue to delve into fantasy football for the rest of the season. And we will actually get into some women's softball. The Athletes United Softball League, the women's champs are there, the Utah Talents, so congratulations to them, but we'll talk about that in a second. We'll talk about, of course, what chaps our ass, because the name of the show is the Chapped Ass Podcast, a face for radio. And I've got several shout outs, and I had to write them down so I don't leave anybody out. So that is the goal today.
Yeah! Let's go! Yeah, we fired up, got something to say. No filters here, we don't play it safe. Hot takes fly, better brace for the blast. Welcome to that chapter. Let's go!
Welcome to the Chapped Ass Podcast, a face for radio, coming at you at 5 foot 10 inches above sea level from the stock in Woodstock, Georgia, beautiful Woodstock, Georgia. Today, I am flying solo again as coach is back in school, and there's no I in team today, guys, but there is an ME in team, and I'll be bringing it to you today. But before we get going, we want to make sure that we say, hey, look, we need subscribers. We need people to like us. We need you to smash that subscribe button. Smash that subscribe button, please, on YouTube, on Spotify. That's where we get our credence. That's where we get our oomph, if you will. So we need you to please like us. Smash the subscribe button. Leave us a 5-star review. As you see, the buttons are down there giving you the clues. Wherever they come from, wherever they go, they're there. Please smash that subscribe button on YouTube and Spotify, and leave us a 5-star review. But I'd also like to give you a call to action to remind you that the inaugural football league that we're coming up with is starting on August the 14th with the draft, and we're still looking for a few more players. So please include your email on that segment. It was an episode about 3 episodes back. If you listen to us, you'll know. But we do need more subscribers for the fantasy football league. So if you'd like to get into that live draft with us, we're not going to do it online, but we may bring you on and talk about your team or talk about your picks or some things, or at least give you some shout outs as we go. So again, let's get into first topic right here of follow us on at Chapped A Podcast, CHAPPED, the letter A podcast, Chapped A Podcast. Please go give us a thumbs up on that stuff. And also, if you don't mind, we would greatly appreciate a follow, shout outs, comments, anything we can get. Go to our website. It's updated. It's current. It's looking pretty fresh too. Thank you, Connor Green, for helping on that. But it's also at, the podcast is chappodcastcentral.com. There, I made it through again without any hesitation. So again, follow us on our website. Check us out. Leave us any comments on there. Follow us on all the socials, please, at Chapped A Podcast. And again, like us, smash that subscribe button. Now let's get into the topics that we discussed today, which is going to be some MLB stuff. But before we get into the MLB trade deadline, winners and losers and snoozers, which I do want to cover pretty extensively today, I'd actually like to get into the Lombard family, a feel-good story, a winner story. Last night, George Lombard Jr. was called up for the Yankees, made his major league debut, and his parents were on the way to go see his other brother, Jacob Lombard, in his high A debut for the Miami Marlins in A-level ball in Jupiter, Florida. But they decided, since it was the major leagues, to stay with George Lombard Jr. And George Lombard Jr. stepped up and hit a home run while they were at Yankee Stadium in front of his parents. And coincidentally, his brother Jacob hit a home run as well for the Miami Marlins. How cool is that? That is so amazing to me to see those guys be able to flourish like that. So congratulations to the Lombard family, to George Lombard Jr. of the Yankees, Jacob Lombard with the Miami Marlins. What a huge accomplishment. What a cool deal for parents like that. Again, now we'll sort of tie them in with the Branch brothers, Colby and Kyle, who had great college careers and hit home runs in the College World Series while their parents were watching. But again, congratulations to the Lombard crew. George Lombard Jr., congratulations on your first home run. Jacob Lombard, congratulations on your first pro home run. So now, as we do the feel-good story, let's get into the major leagues. Let's get into the trade deadline. Let's get into some standings. Let's get into some different things like that. Let's talk about the standings right now, where, as you can see, the National League has the top 3 teams all there for the best record in baseball, all fighting for it. The Dodgers, 69 wins. The Milwaukee Brewers with 70, and the Braves, of course, coming in at 68 wins. The good news for the Braves is they are currently about 7.5 games ahead of Philly, so there is a little time to regroup. And as we discuss the trade line and get deeper into this on the winners, losers, and snoozers, we will sort of decide on what we think is a winner, what is a potential loser, and what is a potential snoozer or a break there. So let's get into that segment right now. Let's go straight into it. The American League East, you can still see, though, of course, Tampa Bay's in first. The White Sox are still in first over the Guardians. And you can see in the American League West that the Houston Astros have overtaken the Texas Rangers, and I believe the Rangers have raised the white flag, which, again, I don't understand it because they're only 3 games out, 2.5, 3 games out of first place, but they have raised the white flag apparently. So, again, trade deadlines. What do you think about the trade deadline? Who are your biggest winners? Who are your biggest losers? I would tell you that this is probably pretty accurate on the Chapped podcast stuff here. Let's look at the Los Angeles Dodgers. Of course, they acquired Tarik Skubal. I would just tell you that that's a great pickup. I don't understand why Detroit was so heck bent on getting rid of Skubal to the Dodgers specifically. The Braves had a better package they were offering and a better minor league pitcher they were going to bring in, but apparently Detroit sought the trade with the Dodgers, which is really bizarre. But they were able to make it happen and sending Tarik Skubal over to the Dodgers. The one thing that I want to caution you on, though, with the Dodgers is the Dodgers now have lost both of their catchers. Will Smith is down with a bad neck, been out for 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 weeks now, and he's probably going to be out till mid-August or later with a bad neck. And for a catcher, if anybody knows that position, that's a horrible injury. Now their backup, who was kind of the heir apparent, maybe designated hitter, potential first baseman, potential catcher, is now he's down for the count with both of their catchers being out. So just beware with the Dodgers. They have no catcher. And now you brought some pitching over. Who works best with the pitchers? The catchers. And now both of their catchers are out. So that's going to be an issue with those guys moving forward. But we'll see what happens with the Dodgers. They've got the money to spend. They've deferred $1.1 billion. So I'm sure they'll re-sign Tarik Skubal next year and pay him $200,000 a year and defer, $6 more billion. So that's going to create a problem with Major League Baseball, which is why there's a strike pending for next season. But let's also talk about the Boston Red Sox. I mean, they acquired a few players. I said it was not a good idea for them to press forward. Their record, obviously, let's slide back over here real quick, but their record is something that, what is the record for Boston? They are now currently sitting at 64-50, plenty of games above 500, probably going to make the playoffs. However, they had a trade backfire on them. They traded for Curtis Mead a couple weeks ago, and he comes in first game, he gets drilled in the hand, and he's out for the year. So, or most likely out for the year. So that trade backfired a little bit. However, they were able to acquire Adley Rutschman from the Baltimore Orioles for 4 big-time prospects, which, again, I'm not sure what the Orioles are thinking, trading interdivision and whatnot. But congratulations to the Boston Red Sox for being buyers and being aggressive. Although my prediction still is that's not going to help them this season. I don't think they're going to make a deep run in the playoffs. Next, I'd like to get into the Chicago Cubs. I mean, the Chicago Cubs are like a blood transfusion. I mean, literally, those guys have they traded it. Their whole pitching staff has been turned over. They got Kevin Gausman from Toronto Blue Jays, and I think that's a great get. He's probably at the end of his career, but he can still eat innings. He's a strikeout pitcher, and he can solidify the front end of that rotation now and probably jumps to the 1 in that rotation, I would guess, but it certainly deepens their rotation. They also added Clay Holmes, who's coming off injury from the Mets, which I think is a big pickup. He's about healthy. He's made 4 or 5 rehab starts. I know I'm talking fast, and I said I wouldn't, but I'm going to anyway. But back to it. So, yes, Clay Holmes has made 4 or 5 rehab starts. He's about to be healthy. He's a very solid pitcher. So they added 2 frontline starters to their rotation as soon as Holmes comes back. But you got Gausman. You've got the aforementioned Clay Holmes. They still have Shotei Imataga as their left-handed pitcher. He's a stud. He's a strikeout machine. He doesn't go deep into games normally, but he's still a strikeout machine. And then they've got Boyd as their 4th starter. So they've got a nice little playoff pitching staff to make a little bit of a deep run. And they also acquired a reliever named Ryan. I wish Coach Grainer was here so he could have to pronounce this. But Ryan Zefferjan, if you would there, Grainer. That's for you, baby. But Ryan Zefferjan coming to the Cubs as the reliever. He's probably going to be the lead guy for saves currently as the closer in the bullpen until they get Palencia and some of those guys back on their backside of their rotation. But the Cubs made a pretty good impact, in my opinion. And one other team that's kind of flying under the radar that's pretty far back still, again, I'll go back to the San Diego standings. The Padres are 59 and 55 on the outside looking in, but they are in the wild card hunt. As we know, 6 teams will make the playoffs. The top 3 are the division winners, and the next 3 are the wild card teams. So San Diego certainly in the fray for the wild card side of things as far as trade winners and trade losers. And I think that they're kind of getting overlooked as some of their stuff in the trade market. They acquired Robbie Ray, another starter, which they needed starting pitching. They acquired Casey Mize, who we thought the Braves might get, an Auburn grad War Eagle. And they kept most of their main pieces. They kept Mason Miller on the backside of that, closing out games. I mean, he's almost automatic, strikes out 3 per side every time he comes in and throws, blows very few saves. So I think San Diego did a little bit of addition, if you will, is what I think those veterans they've added to that roster. As long as Casey Mize can stay healthy, Robbie Ray's a professional pitcher, strikeouts, innings eater, throws from the left side, does a lot of good things for that rotation that's going to help San Diego. The only thing that's going to happen with San Diego, since they didn't really acquire a big bat, is they're going to have to go out and win games with pitching, which, of course, like we just mentioned, they have some solid starting pitching that should bolster them, and that should help them in their division winning, or I should say playoff quest, not division winning. They're not beating the Dodgers. Nobody's beating the Dodgers. Tired of the Dodgers. But that's a different story for a different day. So now let's talk about some possible losers. You can see the graphic up there. The losers could potentially be the Milwaukee Brewers, who didn't do a lot. In my opinion, they did not do a lot. They acquired a little starter from St. Louis, Dustin May, who's been up and down, been injured a bunch, but he's actually throwing well. So that could help them. And again, Milwaukee's kind of my sleeper pick for the World Series, and they're at 70 wins, leading all of Major League Baseball in wins. So good luck to the Brewers on that. The New York Yankees, people say the New York Yankees and the Braves were kind of the biggest losers here. I don't know that I would certainly agree with that comment there. I think sometimes here you sort of see the fact that the Yankees have probably the best pitching staff in baseball, so they didn't necessarily need to go out and get a bunch of pitchers. They acquired Heliot Ramos from the Giants, and they acquired Luis Garcia Jr. from the Nationals, which is he's at 20-something home runs, plays first base, hits from – he may be a switch, but I think he hits from the left side. So I think the Yankees didn't need to do a ton, and I think they addressed a couple things. But don't forget, they also have Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger, both on the IL. So if they can get those guys back, that's like adding 2 first-round draft choices to your roster. And again, they added Luis Garcia Jr. to patch the way, and they also added Heliot Ramos, which is an outfielder with 20-plus home runs and good pop, and should be a good right-handed bat out there in New York. But now let's move on to our Atlanta Braves. I mean, I know that people are disappointed with the Braves. I understand the disappointment with the Braves. I'm going to give Alex Anthopoulos, AA, a pass on some of this. Not necessarily a pass, because I've seen a bunch of Twitter comments where people are complaining. They're like, well, we needed more starting pitching. We didn't get enough starting pitching. The Braves are actually very high on Tyler Mahle, and Tyler Mahle has done a really good job of innings eaters. He's a strikeout guy. He's a guy that has health concerns, but if he can stay healthy this year, he had like a 3.5 ERA or less last year in Minnesota. So he's done a good job over at San Francisco, which is why we traded for him. We also acquire on the comeback, we've got Sean Murphy coming back from injury. We've got Spencer Schwellenbach coming back for injury, Schwelly as we like to call him. And if Schwelly comes back and Murph comes back, that's almost like, again, an additional trade, just like the Yankees getting Judge and Bellinger back, getting Murphy and getting Schwellenbach back. Try saying that 3 times, Schwellenbach back. Anyway, we get Schwellenbach back, and Schwelly is going to, if he's healthy, he's a very, very high-end starter for us. So that's going to help. Add Tyler Mahle. And then we also picked up Bailey Falter and Lane Thomas from the Kansas City Royals. Lane is an old Brave in the past. He's a right-handed stick. He'll platoon in left field most likely with Yaz. And he does a good job of getting on base. He can run a little bit, but he's got good pop from the right side, and he'll do a good job in the outfield. So we're glad to have him. Bailey Falter, the other kind of throw-in pitcher on that thing, he's probably another arm that we can use, which we need depth in pitching. We need the depth that we can get there for the pitching staff. So we shall see what that does. But I would say one thing: if you're going to acquire a guy that is a player, a pitcher, there's 2 guys that I don't want their names in my lineup. I don't want a guy named Falter pitching for me, Bailey Falter. And I don't want a pitcher named Homer. I don't want a pitcher named Homer. Homer Bailey, where are you at? So pitchers named Homer and pitchers named Falter, you have no room in my lineup. So again, the Braves, I think with limited action they did, I understand they don't want to give away the farm, but they were willing to give away the farm for Skubal, but they didn't end up doing it. So we'll see what happens. Again, the rich get richer with Skubal, but we'll see how that ends up shaking out. His first start with the Dodgers, he got beat, gave up a long ball to the Cubs and got beat. So, again, go everybody playing the Dodgers, go Braves, and let's chop on that one. Now let's look at some World Series odds, how things have sort of shaken out for the odds to win the World Series. This is the standard odds you'll see here. You got the Dodgers at plus 160. I'm going to start with the National League first because, again, we don't advocate gambling, but I would tell you that as you're going to look into the gambling world of this, if you want to put some money down to win the World Series, don't bet on the Dodgers. They're plus 160. So for every $100 you put down, you win $160 back. That's not really worth it in my mind. But if you look at 2 or 3 of those underdogs right there, down to the Phillies for sure. I mean, the Brewers are plus 900. That's good odds. So for every 100 you put down, you get back 900. For every 100 you bet down on the Braves, if they were to win it, you'd get 1,000 back. Same with the Cubs at plus 1,500. And the Phillies, don't count the Phillies out at plus 1,800. They made a few minor moves, acquired Luis Arias at second base, moved Bryce Harper to the outfield. So the Phillies are on a quest too, and they got 2 great starting pitchers with Zach Wheeler and Christopher Sanchez, which will help them in any short series or any long series. If you've got to face them 4 out of 7 times or 2 out of 3 times or 3 out of 5 times, those guys are going to be dominant. So the Phillies at plus 1,800, that's a nice little place to play some wagers right there. So beware of that, Dodgers. You're not necessarily going to win it for sure, but we shall see what happens. In the American League, of course, the Yankees are the favorites. The Rays are at plus 1,300, and they're actually in first place. And the aforementioned Boston Red Sox, they're plus 1,500. I'm not a believer in the Red Sox this year. I'm just not. I know they made a few moves, some bold moves in their mind, but I don't think they're going to get there. Houston Astros are of course, looking at the division lead right now. And like I said, I think the Rangers have thrown in the towel, and I don't understand why. They had a series a week or so ago with Houston, and they were like, well, whoever wins this series, this last game, if the Rangers don't win this, they're going to throw in the towel. The Braves went after Jacob deGrom. He wouldn't waive his no-trade clause, which I don't understand either. He's a Florida guy. Why wouldn't we want to bring him back or he has a house in Florida. Why wouldn't we want to bring him back to Atlanta, closer to home, away from the Midwest and Texas, and on a team that's a bona fide World Series, has a World Series shot? So it doesn't all make sense to me, but I don't think the Braves are complete losers here. I don't think the Yankees are complete losers here. And I would also like to say congratulations for the White Sox for, at this time, being able to be buyers. I would also say congratulations to Pittsburgh Pirates for being able to be buyers. They acquired some talent, made some trades. So it's good to see some of those former have-nots as haves and fighting for championships, fighting for playoff berths, fighting to get into the tournament that is the MLB playoffs. So as we keep moving on, I would also like to say that the NFL, it's time. We're so happy you're here. College football, high school football, it's time. We're glad it's fantasy football time because I'm winding down in my fantasy baseball stuff, and injuries are starting to happen all over. James Wood went down on the injured reserve. Jordan Walker looks like he's got some knee issues. And again, like I said, both of those Dodgers catchers are going down. So there's people kind of breaking down right here towards the end of the season, which could shake up some of those races. But again, we're going to turn our focus back to football right now, which is usually everybody's favorite topic. So let's move into the NFL, and let's see who's getting paid. Who got paid? Did anybody get paid recently? I think so. Bijan, make it rain, baby. Make it rain. It is time. Bijan Robinson with a 3-year extension up to $75 million, $51 million guaranteed. What would you do with $51 million? He becomes the highest paid running back in NFL history. So you know what that means. Jahmyr Gibbs, you're getting ready to get rich. Jahmyr Gibbs, you're getting ready to be rich because you're going to sign a bigger contract than he is. They're 1 and 1A is number 1 and number 2 are the best running backs in the NFL. And of course, they certainly deserve it. But all that really does is drive up ticket prices. But congratulations to the Atlanta Falcons and to Bijan Robinson on getting paid. Happy for you. I don't know that that's going to help the Atlanta Falcons this year with that money, but we shall see where that takes us. So as we talk about getting paid, we talk about fantasy football. Let's move over to some of our buyers beware segment. buyers beware segment, we're going to talk about guys that I don't think you want to draft this year in redraft leagues. And sometimes we have to define it. What is a redraft league for you guys or you gals starting to play fantasy football? A redraft league is there's no keepers. It's no dynasty. You draft one, a 10-team league, a 12-team league, 1 through 12. Then the snake is 12 through 1. So it goes back and forth like that. So in a redraft league, these are guys that we're wanting to give you a little bit of caution on. And some of those players that we're going to mention right now are going to be George Kittle. He's coming off a torn Achilles. He's getting old. He's been hurt. He's a great player. He's a great leader. He's a spokesperson for the 49ers. But coming off of injury, I do worry about Kittle a little bit this season. Another one that concerns me, which I don't know that it concerns a lot of people, is Justin Jefferson, the gritty hitter. Justin Jefferson, who's going to be the quarterback? We assume it's Kyler Murray. It could be J.J. McCarthy. Who knows? But whoever's throwing him the ball, last year it was 3 different quarterbacks, Max Brosmer, Carson Wentz, and J.J. McCarthy, and none of them could get him the ball. And he had a horrible season based on how he's done over the years, especially with Sam Darnold as his quarterback 2 years ago. So I would say be wary of Justin Jefferson. I don't know that he's a first-round receiver this year, but we shall see. Talent-wise, yes, but you have to look at the surrounding cast. Does that quarterback room feel the need for you to make Justin Jefferson significant? Again, I'm giving you some significant names to sort of stay away from this season. And part of those names are also going to be Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey is another name that I would tell you to be careful with. He had a breakout season, number 1 running back in the league. I believe the highest scoring player in fantasy football last year, non-quarterback. He had an outstanding season. However, he had 413 touches. That counts receiving and rushing attempts. So anytime he touched the ball, 413 different times that he actually caught it, obtained it, and got tackled. That's a lot of hits on a 30-year-old running back, which is the age in football for running backs where they sort of hit a cliff and they just kind of drop down. And that's kind of what I see happening with CMC. He has an up year and then he has a down year. So those touches are probably going to come back and bite him, would be my guess. Another one, which I know everybody's going to be high on, but again, we're only talking about redraft leagues this week, is Jeremiah Love, the running back that got drafted, the number 1 running back that got drafted out of Notre Dame. Stud, right? Complete stud. However, he's in a crowded backfield. He's got James Conner's in the backfield, Trey Benson's in the backfield, Bam Knight is in the backfield, and they just recently signed Tyler Algier from the Falcons as a free agent. So that is a crowded backfield. It'll sort itself out. I don't expect Conner to stay on that roster. However, if he does, it just stays crowded. And so that's going to be a RBBC, which stands for running back by committee. You don't want that in fantasy football. You want the lead guy. You want the guy that's going to get the 413 touches, like we mentioned that Christian McCaffrey's got last year. So pay attention to that. And I think most people realize that I am a Kansas City Chiefs hater. And as I'm a Kansas City Chiefs hater, Patrick Mahomes, another one getting long in the tooth. Mahomes is getting long in the tooth. He's coming back off of a knee injury, a leg injury, which, scrambling kind of helps him. Extending the plays help him. And if he's not able to scramble and move around like he was able to prior to this injury, then that's going to be a problem. So I have 0 shares of Mahomes. And again, when we talk about fantasy stuff, we want to make sure everybody understands the terms. So maybe, Meredith, if you're listening, as we talk about fantasy football, you'll know more about it, or you might even want to get into a league with us. I doubt that. However, in a redraft league, stay away from Mahomes because he's just not the same guy he used to be. Kelsey's getting older. They signed a new running back in Kenneth Walker, which is probably going to defer some of his passing yards from Mahomes. So I just have 0 shares of Mahomes, tying into what I was saying about fantasy football. Shares being like how many teams. So if you have 5 teams you draft, if you have Mahomes on all 5 teams, you would have 5 shares of Mahomes. So if you have no shares of Mahomes, you don't have Mahomes on any of your fantasy teams. So the players I'm mentioning, I won't have on my fantasy team. I will not have Kittle. I will not have Justin Jefferson. I will not have Christian McCaffrey. And these are all redraft leagues, as we stated. Jeremiah Love, you will not be on my team in the redraft league. Patrick Mahomes, you will not be on my fantasy football team this year. Please don't stress. I'm sorry to admit that. And lastly, I'd like to say the other position, the other players that I would leave off of my fantasy roster that are definitely buyer bewares. Again, I would tell you that I do not want the I do not want any of the Falcons quarterbacks. If you throw left-handed and you play quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons, I don't really want you on my team. So just keep that in mind. So our buyer beware segment, stay off of Kittle, stay off of JJ, the gritty hitter, stay off of CMC because of touches. Jeremiah Love, too crowded in the backfield. No love for Jeremiah. And also we're going to stay off of Patrick Mahomes as he's coming back from injury. And we will stay away from any left-handed quarterback in Atlanta, which of course would be Tua Tagovailoa or Michael Penix. So we will be staying off of those guys. So let's transition just a little bit. We like to talk about the women's sports. We need more women listeners. We need more female voices out here. We need more female comments. So thank you to you ladies that are awesome, that leave us comments all the time. But, we want to continue to grow this audience. So please keep leaving us comments. But let's move over to some women's sports. And we're going to get into a couple. Some of it's tongue in cheek. Some of it's serious stuff. But let's add the AUSL, the Athletes United Softball League, the Professional Women's Softball League, and we have back-to-back champs in the Utah Talons, as they won it again this year. I think they play a 25-game season and of professional softball, women's professional softball, which is amazing. It's really awesome to watch if you get a chance to watch some of that. But they have been back-to-back champions. So congratulations to the Utah Talons. They've got some names you might recognize. The first two that I can think of, I think, is Montana Fouts, pitcher from University of Alabama. She's on that team, winning back-to-back titles. And Bree Ellis, my daughter Cameron's favorite softball teacher as well, or softball player, professional softball player for Bree Ellis. So, congratulations to the Utah Talons. But we actually want to take a second and celebrate something else in that league. And what we'd like to celebrate is the player from Etowah High School. We always talk about the talent we have here in the Etowah district, in the Cherokee County and Cobb County areas over here in Georgia where I live. But Skylar Wallace, she's an Etowah grad. She's a baddie. Look at those numbers. 2026 season stats. By the way, she was the runner-up with the Chicago Bandits this season. But she was the league leader in batting average, on-base percentage, and stolen bases. So keep that in mind. She hit 500. That is not bad. 500 batting average, 24 hits, 574 on base percentage with a few walks, 979 slugging, and an amazing 1.553 OPS percentage, which is amazing. Really cool. And she was also the first person to ever hit 3 home runs in a USL game. So congratulations to Etowah's own, again, another local legend, Skylar Wallace, one of the best softball players, if not the best softball player in the world. But, obviously they didn't win it. They were the runners up, but it reminds you that softball is a team game. But great job, Skylar Wallace. We just want to say congratulations again to the Etowah product and what she's done in the AUSL and how the AUSL has grown, and hopefully it'll continue to grow. So, now, as we're on women's sports, let's stay with the women's sports and let's flip over to what is known as the WNBA. The WNBA is what? WNBA. I don't want to get into too much politics. I don't. Not on this show. It's just not worth it. You get a lot of negative comments, but WNBA. What does the W stand for? If you're listening in your car and you guessed Women's National Basketball Association, you win it. Ding, 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 ding. High five to the dashboard. Great job for the listeners. Yeah, it's the WNBA, right? So in the WNBA, what do we expect there? We expect women. So controversially, Sophie Cunningham, one of the faces of the league, has come out and she said that she supports no men, no trans in the WNBA, the Women's National Basketball Association. Of course, Caitlin Clark couldn't stand up for that same thing. But how is this controversial to talk about the WNBA and wanting it to be the WNBA? Otherwise, it's the NBA, right? So the WNBA, it's growing in popularity. It's growing in fame. A little stat that you probably don't realize, the WNBA All-Star Game this year, it outdrew the NBA All-Star Game. That's not a huge surprise to me, but it is a little bit surprising. It's like 4,000 more, 19,753, I think is what the final number was. But yeah, the WNBA outdrew the NBA in the All-Star Game. So good for them. If you watch any of that game, you'll realize it was not the best product on the court. There were plenty of missed layups, bad passes, and missed dunks and little things like that in the WNBA. But they're still working on it. But listen, I support Sophie Cunningham and her cause. I agree with the WNBA being the WNBA. So good for you, Sophie. Keep standing up for what you believe in, kiddo. And now let's talk about Caitlin Clark. I mean, she is the man, the myth, the legend. Oh, I'm sorry. She's the woman, the myth, the legend. But, you know, the WNBA, Caitlin Clark, the problem I have with the WNBA on part of this is the WNBA wanted to let the players vote on how they ranked their players. The WNBA players, it's got to be out of jealousy. It's got to be out of, I don't know what else other than maybe hate. But the WNBA players rated Caitlin Clark, the number 11 most talented guard, the number 11 ranked guard in the NBA balloting, NBA voting for the All-Star game. Caitlin Clark, the face of the franchise, the face of the WNBA franchise. Some stats about Caitlin Clark here. She's got 4 career triple doubles. She just had a triple double a couple of weeks ago, which a triple double is more than 10 points, more than 10 rebounds, and more than 10 assists. I think she was 20, 10, and 10, which is 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. Regardless, that's what we call a triple double or a trip dub back in the day. And Caitlin Clark has 4 of those, and she has already in her 3rd year in the league the 3rd most triple doubles in the WNBA. So good job, Caitlin Clark, on that part of it. But it doesn't make sense why her peers would vote her as the number 11 best guard in the league, other than jealousy, hatred. I don't know the answer to that, but shame on them. And then, like I said, the WNBA, the crowds keep growing. The Indiana Fever keep growing. They keep leading the jersey sales with Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham leading the way in their jersey sales. So keep rolling Caitlin, keep rolling Sophie, and keep rolling Indiana Fever. And I guess good job to the WNBA. But let's remember what the W stands for in the WNBA. You may have seen some of the controversy that Clay Travis has brought in. He's offered $10 million to the WNBA to have the Los Angeles Aces, I believe is who they are, last year's championship team, play the any boys state championship basketball team in high school of his choice. And he's offered to give the WNBA $10 million if they can beat the boys high school team. So, you know, we want to keep it the WNBA for the women, and we want to keep it the NBA for the men, and then the boys can stay in their high school league. But let's go ahead and all agree that, you know, the WNBA is for the Women's National Basketball Association. And I think that's something that's a pretty easy thing that we can agree on. So keep going, Sophie, keep going, Caitlin. WNBA, get it straight. Coaches get on the same page. League get on the same page, and realize this does matter. And you have people watching. You have little girls watching. You have little boys watching. So let's make sure that we represent that thing in the right way. And that goes for the coaches as well, the people that represent the league. But those are the 2 faces of the league with Sophie and Caitlin, and they should embrace that and realize, hey, league, WNBA, we're making more money because of these 2. We're not making less money. We got more popularity than the NBA and the All-Star game because of these 2. So let's sort of celebrate those ladies, and let's keep pushing for a better product on the WNBA, and that goes for everybody, including the professional me-bounder herself, Angel Reese, pink-haired Barbie doll. We love you, Atlanta, but let's make sure that we start cleaning up that product. Angel, let's start making layups. You got people making a lot of money while you keep missing first shots. Look that up as a trend, by the way. So let's transition again a little bit over here to shout outs. I want to give some shout outs. Now, these are important to me. So my daughter, Cameron Green, and Reese Hall at Etowah High School, their senior season or their senior year is this year, and they've created a foundation, the Etowah Breast Cancer Awareness Foundation. And that's you can go support them and go follow them. That would be amazing. They will be raising money for their foundation, but it's at Etowah, ETOWAAHBCAF for Breast Cancer Awareness Foundation. So Etowah Breast Cancer Awareness Foundation. Great job, Cameron. Great job, Reese. I'm proud of you ladies for creating that dynamic for other people to see and bringing awareness to breast cancer, which probably has affected most of our people in our families. If you're listening here, I'm sure you've had to deal with it, or you've had some female in your family that's had to deal with that. So great job, Cameron Green. Shout out to Cameron and shout out to Reese for the Etowah Breast Cancer Awareness Foundation. Next, I'd like to give props to the Spiel and Growing Media, the Spiel TV. They interviewed they aired an interview on me on August the 2nd. If you want to go check it out on the Spiel TV, give them a subscribe, give them a like, give them a follow as well. Angie does an amazing job with her partners on there. They're always entertaining, but they did a special interview on me, about a 4 or 5 minute deal, kind of announcing what our show was about. It was in Missouri, so I got to travel to Missouri to do that. So it was really neat, and it's just more publicity. And as we've stated before, and you'll see in the interview, no publicity is bad publicity. And next, as we mentioned, the spiel and Growing Media, I would also like to say thank you to Growing Media again for I finally got my media press pass. Yay! SEC Day, here I come. Atlanta Braves, I'm busting up with my media pass. I'll be in there soon, representing the media from the funny side, from the Chapped podcast, A Face for Radio, which is where we're sitting. Another shout out to our girl, Callie Terza. The last interview we did, she was amazing. She was over in Peru representing the United States, the red, white, and blue in the FISU, I believe is what it's called, national games. And she came in first place. I believe she set a personal record, a PR. If not, she set an event record over there in the hammer throw. So great job, Callie Terza. You're amazing, and keep representing, and we're so proud of you. So great job, Callie, and thanks again for coming on the show. But we want to keep propping her up because she was awesome. Is there any more shout outs I need to give? I always want to give shout outs to my family, anybody that's listening. Thank you guys. Please leave comments. Please join that listener league like we talked about. So we always have to talk about on the show what chaps our ass on the Chapped Ass podcast. What chaps my ass today? What chaps my ass this week? Well, if you coach or you're a player or you're in college currently, the new NCAA 5x5 recruiting rule, the 5x5 rule of staying in college now for 5 years, and when it starts and when it finishes, they keep changing it. The coaches don't know what to do. The players are all going to stay if they're not going professional because they get to play an extra year, stay in college for an extra year. If they got NIL, they're getting paid for an extra year, which does not incentivize them to go to pros because they're making money in college. What that does is that gunks up the whole engine of recruiting. Same thing happened when COVID hit. In 2020, when COVID came on, they started giving kids an extra year, which pushes back all the recruiting classes. So all the recruiting classes get pushed back and sort of jumbled up. And so now Division I is taking, they're going quickly. Division II is taking the fallouts. Division III is going to kind of take what's left over, but nobody really knows what's going on. All we know is we have 5 years from our graduation date or our 19th birthday to play. We can play 5 years. Woo, lightning and thunder and lightning. But maybe that's the NCAA letting me know don't talk about us. But either way, the 5x5 rule is going to kind of put a lot of things in flux on the recruiting. I coach softball. I have 27s that are trying to get into school, and now they're in flux. I've got 28s that don't know what to do. I've got 29s that will sort of sort their way out. But it's kind of confusing. And the NCAA, like I said, they just changed part of the rule again last week or so to include another class into that 5x5, again, gunking up the engine. So I don't really think the NCAA knows exactly what they want to do or how they want to go about it. So I would just say NCAA and your 5x5 rule, that chaps my ass. That really chaps my ass. And it makes it harder on all these student athletes. So as we move forward, I want to remind everyone to give us a like and a follow and subscribe to us on the Chapped Ass podcast, A Face for Radio, right there. Like us. Please give us a thumbs up. Please smash that subscribe button on YouTube. Smash that subscribe button on Spotify. Check out our website, chappodcastcentral.com. Sponsors, go in there, check us out, follow us. We're looking for that rookie deal still, as we're calling on all sponsors. But the number one thing, listeners, if you don't mind, is please go in and subscribe on YouTube, because we're working our way to 1,000 subscribers. And without 1,000 subscribers, we can't keep moving forward and monetize this. So that's our goal. And it's a slow and steady progress, but we appreciate everybody doing their thing. And I would also like to lastly remind, if you want to get into our inaugural listener league on our fantasy football draft, I need you to go to that episode, which is about 3 episodes back. And I need you to go in and I need you to put your email in there, and we will send you an invite to join our fantasy football league with Coach Grainer and myself. It's a 12-team PPR league, points per reception league. And we want to see who's the best. Do you have bragging rights, or do we have bragging rights? I know I'm good at fantasy football, and I will prove it to you if you'll join the league with us, and I'll show you what we got. But other than that, sponsors, again, find us, like us, love us, leave us a comment on the Chapped Ass podcast, A Face for Radio. I'm your host, Chap Green, and I'm out.
Yeah!